Over the past 2 decades, coaching case-solving teams, discovered that there's some expectations as a coach and as a mentor that I come with that I expect of my teams. And over this video, I want to talk about what some of those expectations are and those expectations that will set you up to be more successful with discovering your own MAD skills and using the Discover Your Own MAD Skills toolkit. How do we go about building those world-class MAD skills? And so first thing is to be coachable. And really coachability, what that means is you have to come in and be prepared to be wrong. You want to be able to react to and act on the feedback that you're giving and let others evaluate. And really what this comes down to is being able to really walk into the situation and withstand the feedback and all of those pieces you can get with a high degree of candor and really turn yourself into a top learner and go through this process of practice, getting feedback, doing it multiple times, and doing that reflection, going back to that practice. I think the other thing that I think really becomes important are the traits that I see in the team members that in these case-solving teams that have been successful over the years. And those are things like humility, the willingness to surrender control, and having faith in the process. And I think all three of these are really exceptionally valuable soft skills. And none is, I think, more important than the other. But the idea is you're walking into the room with humility. You're walking into the room with a willingness to surrender that control and to come out of it with a faith in the process. And again, the other piece of it is you're not going to turn on to autopilot. So the idea that when you make a mistake, you can start over. You keep that feedback first and foremost in your next reputation. You implement the feedback and then rationalize it. And then also to remember the struggle is the only thing that ultimately builds success. There is a lot of failure that happens, and you have to be able to feel free to fail. And out of that failures and that learning that comes along with that is really where the success of the teams in the past I've had. And then I would sort of really bring it down into the idea of 4 Ps. You have to be able to come in prepared. So if the whole team doesn't read the case and resolve the problem, the process really means nothing. And in order, once you've done that, there's participation. And everybody needs to be engaged. I'll put it akin to this in terms of if you've got a team of 4 and only 3 are working on it, you're working with one cylinder that's available to you, but not available to sort of run the engine of that process that's going on. And again, everybody has to be present. Everybody cannot learn when you don't add your unique insights. And it's really about having all of those insights together that becomes really important. And again, when it comes down to especially case competitions, promptness, there are deadlines, and those deadlines are down to the second. And if you do not get there on time or you disrupt the process, you depreciate that process. So promptness becomes a huge thing. So again, the 4 Ps to come into the room with as you're starting to discover and work on those MAD skills are preparation, participation, having some presence, and then also being prompt.